Today we're going to be looking at a video and talking about how we get our boats into the water. One of the commenters had reached out and asked what this big metal piece in the middle of our boat is, and we're gonna talk about it. So most big ships in the U.S. Navy, all navies across the world actually have cranes, and cranes lower things into the water. The crane has a hook here, and it hooks into the boat and lowers us down. And you're going to see the whole process through the boat captain's helmet cam, and he has a GoPro. So I think this is the most unique view. What he's going to be looking at are the most important things during this process, because he is in charge of the overall safety and maintenance of the boat. So this is a good view. I'm in the water out there in the other boat. We're just cruising around, eating snacks. And these are very tense moments. So, the captain's at full attention. This can be a life threatening thing. There was this one case where a Coast Guard cutter was lowering a boat into the water, and the boat starts moving around and rocking people. Dude gets ejected from the small boat midway down, and his kit catches and it snaps up. He didn't have his kit tight. Snaps up, hits his chin, and broke his neck. So the captain is very nervous at this point. As you see the ship, this is the USS Somerset. The ship's crew, the boatswain mate, the deck department, they're all involved. This is Chief right here in the white hat, and he's in charge of this completely. So here we are, getting ready. Now we're going to be attaching several lines to the boat. Forward, we got 2 lines. We got one line that is connecting to the this big chunk of metal in the front of the boat, and then there's another line. It's just like a steadying line that goes up too. So you're going to have 4 points of lower. The lines that the rope used on the boat, which you'll see, is just used to steady the boat. But if the hook breaks or something, we're going into the water. The fellas do not hold on to the rope as if the hook breaks. Does that make sense? So those fellas are out there, and ladies and gentlemen, whatever they are, sailors are out there, and they're steadying the boat. That's their job as it lowers. You don't want the boat to be clanking around and denting the ship. You don't want the boat to eject sailors. So we need to have sailors on the boat, because the boat needs to be running to suck up water to move. So we have to be on board as we hit the water. But you'll see this whole thing. It's kind of nerve-wracking up there. I would usually sit up front as much as I can to balance it. I'm the weight of a couple people. So here the boat captain's coming on and getting everything ready. Soon as the boat hits the water, he's going to turn on the boat. And this is, a crane operations and small boat operations are normal on pretty much every big commercial ship as well. They have cranes. And the qualification for this is pretty difficult, but this chief here in the white hat, he puts all their youngsters up there using this crane. So we see a new face up in the crane. We get a little bit nervous. But all right, so that's Kyle. He's attaching. He attached the rope, and he's just tightening up the masthead of our boat. So we're gonna lower down and get boogieing. So I think he will go to the back. But everybody sits in the back while this thing's happening, except for the boat captain. Obviously, he's got to turn it on. So if this would be an operation, right? The boats would be lowered into the water probably hours before it would happen. So it's not like traditionally a fast type of thing, like, oh, go get them. If we did that, we would go out the back. If we needed some like fast stuff like LCAC, small boat, we bring trailers on deployment too, so we can, we trailer the boats into the back of the well deck, and we straight up can move right out of the warship that way. But this is they'll lower into the boat, us into the water, and we'll wait around. Everything has to go up a chain of command. Everything has to be ready. Everybody's set in place. We got the sign off or whatever. We're ready to go, and we'll wait out there. Or we'll go in early while it's visible, and then at night we'll be waiting out there. So what about the gas? We have a lot of gas. We have this huge gas tank on these boats. Uses a lot of gas. Twin Caterpillar engines. Uses a ton of gas. So there it is. That's that big chunk of metal. And another time we'll look at us getting picked out. But as you can see, that rope is not going to hold. They're not going to be able to hold a boat if that hook doesn't work. If we get dropped somehow, but yeah, that's one of the big things with our maintenance qualification. We'll go to maintenance periods after several deployments, and they have to verify that the big chunk of metal that is used for the crane to pick us up and out of the water is good and good standing and passes all kinds of metal testing qualifications. So here we are getting lowered in. It's somewhere like, I don't know, 30-some feet out of the water. But as soon as it hits the water, we're going to turn it on. Now, if we turn it on without the boat being into the water, you can run the engine dry, or you could blow it out. It'll get real hot. So the seawater is cooling it and propelling it. We use the seawater throughout the entire engine, and it just runs through and cools the engine. It's kind of cool. It's pretty high tech. But as you see, there's these ropes. Once we're just kind of the boat's in, we're moving in the water a little bit, and when everything is safe up top and up bottom, we give the thumbs up and we start loosening up the ropes. So there we go. So Kyle's first. You see the order here. Now he's going to get that little steady line too. Like I said, there it is. Both in the water. Raise his hand. Good job, Kyle. And that was the same with the back. So you had gunner's mate back there. At the time, I think he was an undesignated seaman as well. Gunner's mate was, and he was the aft gunner and engineer. So, yeah, he's back there, man on the line as well. Now we're in the water, and now here we go. We're going to check out our radars. We're going to check out our electronic charts. We're going to check the engines, and we're going to sit. And we'll bob and weave more than we will actually go anywhere. We'll just sit there in the water most of the time. And that's it. So, kind of neat. Okay, so you get a good glimpse of the back of those warships. They are sweet. So, it has ballast tanks. Ballast tanks fill up with water and sink the ship into water. And then they lower the gate, and out come whoever. Usually some sort of landing craft. Alien ships, drone swarms. I don't know what's going on now. A lot of craziness out there, but okay, so same with the gunners. Now let's go check the gun, make sure the gun's clean, make sure the gun's ready, and make sure the gun is, if we had ammo or in a situation like this, make sure ammo is covered, make sure it's secure. We don't want our ammo flying into the water. We have ratchet straps. We'll put our ammo in the ratchet straps, and we're just out there. And we'll be eating snacks and chilling. We'll if somebody needs to relieve themselves, we'll slow down the boys, jump in the water, pee, or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Number two, sometimes it happens. So, yeah, we're just gonna cruise next to the ship. I don't know exactly what we're doing here. I think this is probably, oh yeah, this is a training in the in Northern California. It's cold out here at this time. Oh my gosh. So I'm on the other boat there, and we're not on the guns. We're just cruising around, making sure everything's cool. We got plenty of time. No use to be totally anxious. Like I said, we're probably going in at night. We're nocturnal, man. Navy people are nocturnal. We hunt at night. And yeah, so there's EN1. There's our boat officer. He's over there too. You see a little bit. He's telling everybody what to do. Okay, make sure he's got a mental checklist. Make sure this is good. Make sure the radios are good. Communication's huge. He's making sure that the boat captains are in good communication with each other. They work in unison. They're like the boat captains. They can, as you've seen in many of my videos, they can drive. They're such good pilots of this boat that they can drive, inches from each other in a straight line. But when the seas aren't so good, you don't want to play. You don't want to play hot dog games. You get the seas are often a mixed swell, so they're not always like perfect swells. You get a kind of a sloshy swell, and your boat can change direction. We call it a crazy Ivan. The boat will be going in one direction, and all of a sudden it will jerk left or right, just bang, out of nowhere. Crazy Ivan happens, and that happens because of the swells. The swells are uneven, and we get hit from the side and the front maybe, and the boat just does this weird skip off the water. But yeah, other than that, that's really the most important reason why we don't do any hot dogging when the swells are. We don't want to have a dual crazy Ivan and run into each other. But yeah, so you see with that was pretty simple, right? The big metal piece in the middle of the boat. Most of the boats you'll see, we lower the boat on the USS. We have another way of lowering the boat with just a winch on the USS Somerset. So yeah, we have a fleet of little boats on that ship. Vipers in the water. So pretty cool. We don't have the Marines out here, and as it looks, we're using these Velcro headsets. The technology changed real rapidly, so we eventually got headsets that were more modern. But these headsets hooked into the boat, and man, it was hard. Comms was everything. It was the most important thing. A lot of times I couldn't hear what was going on. I would just take a headphone off and listen to it with my ear, listen to people talking. So, I mean, it was a mess. It's because salt water doesn't jive with electricity very well, and rust. So we try to keep everything waterproof, but hard to do out there for sure. So the forward gunner is now on the electronic charts, making sure the headways that we're going, the waypoints that we're going are dialed in. I've dialed them in. All he has to do is follow my lead on these situations. But if I didn't want to lead the navigation, he could easily do it. We would enter him on both boats together. So, yeah. But we would usually just stare at a chart, find specific waypoints, make sure we're not going to run into anything underneath the water, make sure there's no shipwrecks in vicinity of where we're driving. Follow buoys, looking at buoys, looking at lights out there. All the, that mountain range out there has a light configuration and at night, so we can look at our chart, see that light, easy, boom, draw a line to it if we need to. But yeah, we're just making circles. That's what we do. We're playing around, driving, taking breaks, taking snacks, waiting for the captain to shoot the gun. You know, it reminds me one time. Gosh, I was on this ship and I was looking out. I was looking out at Africa. We were just miles off of the coast of Africa, Somalia, Djibouti area. I'm looking out there and I see this crazy light in the sky, fluttering, moving, dancing light. I'm like, dog. Yeah, I'm like looking around. Does anybody see this? Marine comes up and was like, oh, that's us. We're shooting stuff up there. Felt like such an idiot. I thought I was a UFO, man. I'm like, we're getting attacked. It was our dudes, man. So we have a lot of funny stories like that. I'm probably screaming at Kyle because I've screwed up the waypoints. Probably this is a good video. I probably screwed up the waypoints and now I'm trying to fix them. Here I am bragging earlier. Oh, I'm adding. If I'm changing waypoints in the middle of the operation, it means I might have screwed something up. But the tough part about being a navigator on a small boat in these things is I was an E5, so I wasn't allowed in a lot of the wardroom stuff. So I'm getting things second hand. And then I get out in the water and things are kind of funky and I'm trying to relay information like, what's going on here? Calling up to the bridge. Where do you want us to go? You know? But as far as this part of it, they're not better than me. I'm fresh, dude. I'm fresh off of being the quartermaster of a watch on a frigate on a deployment. I'm pretty good at this stuff. So if somebody has changed the course of our training, they're maybe throwing a wrench in it, or it's a last minute decision and we have to change our course, I'm in charge of that, and got to fix it quick. I will sometimes jump on to the other boat to help him, and same vice versa. He's doing all the comm stuff. He'll be on ours too. So thank you, John Dart, for letting me borrow your video. Blessings.